Just recently, I went on my annual visit to Cedar Point. The new addition at the park for 2019 is Forbidden Frontier, a themed interactive guest experience. I spent about an hour wandering around in this new section, and I think I have a good grasp on what this area is all about, so in this video I'm going to do my best to explain what exactly is Forbidden Frontier. The first thing I noticed is how hidden Forbidden Frontier is from the rest of the park. I assumed that since it was replacing Dinosaur Alive, the entrance to this area would be located at the same place, but instead the entrance has been relocated over to where the Shoot the Rapid rides was. When you walk around in this area, at first glance, it feels like it's a dead end. There's this raft ride that you can take across the pond, a plank bridge, or two other pathways that go around the edge. I thought maybe this was it, but it's actually just the beginning. As you walk further into this land, you will stumble across a small outpost building that has a prison cell attached to the side of it. There was a guy in the prison cell and he was talking with a group of folks walking by. I believe he was trying to convince them to release him from his jail cell. As you continue on, you will see random little areas set up along the pathway. Some are like shacks, cabins, some barns, maybe a store, all part of a grand story. When you get to the middle section of the Forbidden Frontier, there's a giant ropes play area for the kids to enjoy. I was actually pretty impressed with how big this whole Forbidden Frontier area is. Beyond the jungle gym, there is a small concession stand, some reclining chairs, hammocks, fireplaces all scattered about in this main section of the land. There is also a stage that I think is where the resolution of the story takes place, but I didn't stay around long enough to find out. So the whole story interaction is quite interesting. As far as I could tell, there's lots of different areas that you can interact with. The best interpretation that I can come up with, it's kind of like an RPG video game. Forbidden Frontier has a lot of details, things to see, people to talk with, but honestly, none of it sounded that entertaining to me. From the little bits of story that I heard, there's some brother that's walking around that's from the future, so time travel is involved maybe, I don't know. Regardless, I figured out pretty fast that Forbidden Frontier isn't for me. If you're at Cedar Point only for a day, I'd recommend avoiding the Forbidden Frontier because it takes a while to soak it all in, and if you're there to ride the coasters, you will not have enough time to slow down and enjoy it. I think Forbidden Frontier is more of like for the resort guests that are at the park for multiple days. That way you could spend an afternoon checking out what Forbidden Frontier is all about. It's obviously geared towards the younger crowd. My daughter loved the giant play area and would have spent a lot of time there if we would have had that available time. It also takes a good 10 minutes to walk back into Forbidden Frontier just to get to this play area, so it's not like you can just swing by and hang out on your way in between roller coasters. It really feels like a detour from the park. All in all, this area isn't for me, which isn't a bad thing. I'm sure there are some folks who would enjoy spending an entire afternoon hanging out in Forbidden Frontier, but I'd rather be riding Steel Vengeance, Maverick, or any of the other great coasters in the park. I also noticed that there weren't many people on the island, but that could just be because no one really knows what Forbidden Frontier is simply by walking by, and many guests don't want to spend the time to find out. For those who like taking pictures like myself, this is a great area to get some cool shots of Millennium Force. This coaster literally towers over everything in this whole area. If you've been to Forbidden Frontier, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As I said, I didn't catch the whole story, so maybe share what you know of this uber exciting adventure. As always, please subscribe so you don't miss out on more great content coming your way by XscreamThrills.